OverDose vapes. Keep your coils tight. Keep your wicks wet. If you're looking for new flavors, I'm all about the clouds, bro. Filling up a clear row, we're dripping in the sub-ohm. Reviews for the juice while traffic jobs post viewed on YouTube and prepare for overdose.
Hello, welcome back to OverDose Vapes. This is Travis, and today we're looking at a pod system, and this is the Edmund RLINE pod system. And this was sent out to me for review. And I tell you what, when this got here, I was absolutely just fell in love with this thing. And you might have seen some pictures I posted on Instagram of it. Everything about it, from the aesthetics to the functionality of it, it just blew me away. I absolutely fell in love with this thing. I'm super into salt and liquids right now, and so any pod has a pretty good chance of me enjoying it. But this one really stood out from the crowd because it really just, man, it just has this impactful form factor, and it just really functions super well. And so I've just been absolutely in love with it. It has it's got the built-in battery, so it charges really well. It's got this really nice bright light on the end. It kind of mimics a cigar. It's got this faux leather on it that just feels so nice. It's got kind of an aluminum drip tip here, mouthpiece, I guess is the correct term to use for it. That it feels so substantial. The materials feel so nice, and it feels weighty. It feels well made. Has these mesh pod coils, and the mesh. Mesh has great flavor, and it just worked. It just works so well. Let me take a toke. Yeah, it's not working. We need to talk about this. But first, let's go up close and check it out, because again, this is really something else. And so let's go take a quick look at it, and then we're going to talk, okay? We're back. Okay, so I kind of prefaced this whole review by showing you guys that this isn't functioning anymore. And in theory, it would function, except for the coils aren't working anymore. We actually got two of these things. So I got one, and they sent two of them, and I gave one to Panda, and I took one, and we were both using them. We were super happy with them. I'm not BSing here. I was really in love with this thing. I thought, this is my pod. This is what I've been waiting for. It gave a really nice draw, a really nice hit, and it felt really good to vape it. It had super clean flavor. This was the pod for me. But after a week of using it, the coils burnt out, and not just on mine, but also on hers. And so I don't know if you've ever had a dry hit or a mesh hit, but it is not pleasant. So it's not the same as round wire going bad or round wire drying out. This was mesh, and this was a whole different ball game. But like I thought, okay, like I just gotta let it sit for a while. I really tried to make this thing work, but now it's at the point where it won't even fire anymore. Like it will light up, and I can tell it's trying, but it's just not functioning. It won't even give me a dry hit anymore. So it's really unfortunate because again, I was really in love with this device, and if I could find coils for this thing, I would buy them myself. I've reached out to the company to try to get them to send more coils or pods. As you saw in the up close section, it has these pods. These pods are great. They're just great. And there's some kind of coil here. I mean, there's a mesh coil. And so I don't even know if you can change these out. I don't know if you're supposed to change the whole pod. I just don't know. So the company that sent me this, they're Chinese, and so the language barrier there is really preventing us from communicating correctly. And I want to get more coils for this thing, but I just can't find them. I just cannot find coils for the Edmund RLINE pod, unfortunately. And because again, I would buy more of these because when it worked so well. And I would even still recommend it to you guys because I think it's such a great device. But if there's no support for it, then it's hard for me to recommend it. If you can't buy coils for it, then it's hard for me to recommend it. And if they only last like a week, and this isn't just me. Again, this isn't just this one device. If it was just the one, I would think, okay, shit happens. Moving on, right? But again, it was both of ours, and it was like roughly right around the same time. And so I don't know if that's going to be atypical for everyone. I don't know. I just don't know. And it just had so much promise. It's saying that it has the anti-frying design, which I think means like dry hit protection. But in my experience, that didn't really work. It just didn't. It didn't work. Fast charging, which did work. This thing charged really fast, and the battery lasted for a long time. So that part of it was true. There's a lot of things I didn't really understand. Safety lock mechanism. They were saying there was like different ways to mess with the airflow. I could never figure that out, and they were not able to communicate to me how to do that. As you saw in the up close section, it came with some parts, but I don't even understand what they're for. Really, instead of these parts that it came with, I would have really loved to have gotten another pod, especially if they're going to only last for a week. You got to provide more pods, but they didn't, and so it is what it is. It was a 1.5 ohm coil, mesh coil, and then it came with these little plastic things, which these are just the same plastic things that are inside this mouthpiece. And so I just don't understand what they're for. They look exactly the same as the other ones, and so I don't know if these things are just prone to break, and so they added some extra ones in there. The tank itself was 2 milliliter, which is pretty substantial for a pod system. Yeah, it's a shame because I just absolutely love this thing. So somebody, I was talking about this on a live show back when it was actually functioning, and I was just like raving about it. And somebody, I think it was Drowsy, who's a fan of the show and watches the live show. If you're watching, what up? I'm pretty sure it was him. He said that this was basically a duplicate of another product that was out. I can't remember the name that he had said, but he said there was something that was exactly like this that was already on the market. So if that's true, then maybe we can get some coils from that thing to use in the Edmund, because I am in love with this thing. I love it. I absolutely do. So the resistance range, I mean, there's a lot going on here that I wasn't able to test because we only had the one pod, and I don't know how you would test this anyways. But they're saying that you could, that it outputs 15 watts, which that seemed about right. But they're saying that the resistance range was 0.2 ohms to 3 ohms. So they're saying this thing was able to sub-ohm. I don't know if that's true. Again, I just don't know. And there's really no way to test that. As far as I know, there's no way to test that because I can't put anything else in there to use as an atomizer. I would, if I could fit a different pod in there from a different device, I would, because I love this device. Again, this is not me. This is me. This is like a call for help more than me bashing this product. because this product did a lot of things right. It's just that this one real thing wrong, and it's a big problem because the coils, without the coils, this thing is a paperweight. And unfortunately, I don't need a paperweight. I need a vape. And so until this all gets straightened out, and if it does get straightened out, I will make another video. I promise. But until then, it's hard for me to recommend it because I don't want you to buy a paperweight. I want you to buy a vape. And I'm gonna, I even sent another message. They messaged me because I was trying to find more coils before I filmed this video. I've had this device for a while, right? But the coil burnt out so quickly that I wasn't able to do a review. The way I do hardware reviews is that I'm not just gonna do like a first impressions like I do with e-liquid. I want to use it for a while. I want to know about it. I want to know if it works correctly. I want to know all these things like this. Like if I would have just done a review after 2 days, I would have not known that this was going to be an issue, and I would have been like raving about it, going like, "Oh, you guys have to get this." This is why I take time with their device. But so I've had it for a while, and the coils burnt out, and I was trying to get more coils. I told the company that I needed more coils for it, and I looked for them on my own, just wasn't able to find them. And so they did message me finally, like, "Hey, where's that video at?" And I'm telling them like, "Hey, what do you want? This thing doesn't work. I need more coils." And they just never messaged me back. And so here's the video. If you guys are watching this video, please, where do I get more coils? I need more coils for this. I need more pods. This needs more pods because I want to use it. So yeah, it is what it is. This is really disappointing on my end because, again, I can't say this enough. I love the Edmund. I just can't use it. So, alright, thank you guys so much for watching. This is not the kind of video I like to make, but this is a very necessary video, and this is why reviews are so important. So until this gets straightened out, I would hold off on the Edmund. Again, if something changes, I will let you guys know. I will film another video saying, time to get the Edmund. It's good to go, because honestly, I think this is something that could be really great. Alright, until next time, keep your coils tight. We'll see you then. Peace out.